We've got an extra special guest today, Andrea Spiridonakos. And we're so happy she's joining us here. Should we have to make this short and sweet because actually she's in the middle of a project. She's got workers in the next room in her shop in Miami today. But Marcy discovered Andrea and really such a knockout collection, textile artist primarily in these amazing fashions. So Marcy, why don't you introduce our guest and we can get right into the slideshow today.
Yes, it's really been fun getting to know her. Yesterday we had a conversation on Clubhouse and it went from the ballet to Miami to design to art to sustainability. She's got it all going on and there's a lot to talk about. So,
well, let's take a quick look now at our midday, and we'll invite everybody back later on this evening. But this is the Welcome to the World of Spiridonakos, and actually Spiridonakou is the name of the line. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's correct. It's actually the feminine version of my last name. They kind of do a similar thing in Russia as well, female version of the last name.
Are both your parents Greek?
No, just my father. Okay. My mom is American, but of Italian descent, so my family's very loud.
I would never have said you were loud, but just knowing a brief time, I guess you wouldn't be loud on Clubhouse, but
yeah, I try to keep it to a minimum. I save it for my family.
So now you're primarily a textile artist, is that correct? Because I just made a quick run through of all the different slides, and I was so struck by the patterns and the colors and the without even taking note of the fashions themselves. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your inspiration here?
Yeah, thank you so much. I was trained as a fashion designer. I went to FIT, graduated there, but I'm really into textiles. I feel like that's where it's at. That's where you can really make your mark as far as fashion is concerned. For me, I like to have the female body look beautiful, feel comfortable. So there's limitations on what you can do that keeps a woman feeling, I don't know, whatever she wants to feel as her best self. But I think that it affords a broad range of textiles, use that you can have in the textiles. So for me, originally, I was doing a lot of sculptural pieces, but I did take a class. I went and I was on scholarship and I had a class. I won a scholarship and I took a class in Paris. And at the end of it, it was like a master class, the art of fashion. It still happens every summer. And we went around to the ateliers of they were making Dior gowns at the time and all for the couture week in the summer. And it was very interesting to see these pieces be made by hand. And the woman who runs the masterclass, she had mentioned a very good, true point where fashion, the actual shape itself cannot be copyrighted and cannot be trademarked in a way because it's a utilitarian thing. It's like you can't trademark a spoon. Maybe you can trademark probably a certain type of pocket or something like that. You could patent something like that, but in general, a shape can't be protected, let's say, for intellectual property, but a textile can because it's like an artwork. So something like that, that's where I started to gravitate for it. Yeah.
Well, that's clever. So that's a great advantage you have then in your designs, because yours can be trademarked, patented.
Yeah, it makes your pieces your own, and then you definitely have a way of, like I said, mark making. Making your mark. With that.
Andrea, I'm so sorry to hear that part about where you won that free trip to Paris. I just hate that when that happens, and I'm so sorry that happened to you.
It wasn't totally free, but it did help. It did help. The money did help for sure.
Now, after seeing this photo of you for a while on Clubhouse, I didn't know you were a brunette.
Yes.
Because
yeah, who knows? It could be anything there. That's right.
Well, let's get into some of the fashion then. This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. The first 3 coats that you see there on beautiful model Kia, those are all available at Bergdorf's, or were available. I don't know, some of them might have sold out by now, but I know that the first one I think is still available there. That was the spring coat. And the textiles are made completely by hand. There is a base layer in some of these where it's built on a black cashmere. You could see it poking out in certain parts on the first image on the left. And it's all hand applied pieces of wool wool roving, they call it, wool fiber. So it's raw wool fiber applied by hand with small needles to the cashmere.
Now tell me, you said yesterday something about having one there and then taking orders, or do you have a couple there of each style?
Yeah, I have a couple in various sizes of those styles. And then sometimes they have called me in the past, and, you know, if a style is sold out and someone, or a size is sold out, and then I would send them a new size.
But now, Andrea, this is like a movie star or rock star kind of look.
Like
Is
it.
that popular within, have you had any customers in the entertainment industry?
No, I
Especially
haven't.
this.
Nobody knows who I am. I'm really small. I spend all my time in
Oh.
my studio.
Well,
But
you need to
I've
accessorize
had
this
one.
with a guitar, and you'd have a sale there.
Oh, I like it. I like it so much. That's a good idea. I have had some people who are artists. I've had several artists purchase the work, and also art collectors, and I can see the reasoning behind that, you know.
Well, I should have spent more time on your page about your background, but how long have you been in design? Because I can't believe I haven't been discovered by some of the people in the
Well, I just
entertainment
launched,
industry.
the company launched in the end of 2019. So right before COVID hit. And now, you know, so I'm about a year and a half in, and about 10 months of that was, you know, on lockdown sort of, but it's been interesting and it's been fun. So I'm very, very fortunate that Bergdorf's was actually the first place to pick me up.
Yeah, that's amazing. You said you're on the fourth floor
Yep,
of
fourth floor at
Bergdorf's.
Linda's.
Then the department's called at Linda's, you said?
Yeah, Linda's. I think it's called just Linda's.
And
Yeah.
that's a special curated section of Bergdorf's, right?
Yep. It's
By Linda Fargo, who's been at Bergdorf's for many, many years. She's sort of a fashion legend.
yes.
Terrific. Great.
Yep. And these are some of the new pieces that I'm just developing now. So normally I don't show them, but I thought that would be fun to
Well,
show
thank
some.
you. That's
The
so
bomber.
exciting.
Thank you. The
And
bomber.
is that netting on the second one?
Yep, that's all. It's a full tulle dress, and then it's tulle with some felt inside so that it's not sheer all the way through.
Oh,
And then the third piece, that's all silk. It's wool, bamboo, and silk fibers on a sheer silk, but then it makes it no longer sheer, and it's a lightweight. Also, the jacket and pants on the end, that's a similar iteration of fabric, actually the same iteration of fabric. And then the trench coat that's in between those two looks is actually made with no fabric underneath. It's literally just made with wool fiber that's been massaged together with soap and water. It's called wet felting. So it exists.
Yes.
You've probably seen it in certain places, but I thought it would be interesting to try to make a tailored piece. Often the pieces are more artsy or not as structured. So it was kind of
Yes.
good to do it. Yeah.
Very clever, very interesting.
Thank you.
so I'm just trying to understand that there's no lining, so you have the felt against your skin.
Yeah, so something like this, it would have to be in this particular, all the other ones are lined with silk or cashmere, but this particular one has no lining, so it can't be for someone who's allergic to wool, that's for sure. But it's a fully reversible coat, so you can have a black trench or you can have that turquoise blue trench. Yeah.
Cool.
You don't like felting, Marcy? I can felt you. I just felted you.
We felt up.
I love the one sleeve. It's done in a little bit of a different way than I've seen before. Is there a netting on the right shoulder? Her right shoulder.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah, they call it illusion. So it's used often in women's wear evening dresses so that you can't see how the top is held on. So yeah, it's net and it actually goes straight across, but you can't see it because it blends in with the skin. So it looks like, you know, how does the top stay on? But it's really a two-sleeved t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah, and that's also made out of silk, very, very thin sheer silk that then has bamboo, wool, and silk threads put onto it.
And then is this really printed or painted or what is going on here?
No, it's all felted. All hand
Oh, it's felted. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
terrific.
a very thin layer skirt, good for summertime, and it's just the raw wool fibers put against the cashmere.
And you said good for summertime. It's really
That one's
lightweight.
Yeah, that one's very lightweight based on how much wool we put down and also how thick the base fabric is. It could be pretty lightweight. The same with the shorts as well.
Now, I mean, you went to the program in Paris and did your work. It must have taken some time to develop that technique.
Yeah, definitely. And it wasn't originally what I was gearing towards. Felt wasn't at all. And maybe hopefully won't be all the time what I'm geared towards, but for now it is, because I want to just start with a base and a style and then grow from there. I don't think it's good to jump around too much, especially when you're just getting known and also trying to not only amass a following, but also grow command in a certain genre, I would say. But for me, it did take time. After I graduated from school, I moved back down from New York to Miami, where I'd known from dancing, and I knew it was a little less expensive, so it could help afford me to work on my own pieces rather than working, making tech packs or something for someone else. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It would just make it much more difficult and slower to start my own brand. So yeah,
Now,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, the felting didn't start coming along until I would say 2018. So a year or so after
Recently.
Yeah. And then from there, then the brand started because some people started picking it up because of the differentiation, I guess, between what else is out there.
It's very different. This silhouette now, is this just styled with these pants, or are the pants part of your collection?
No, the pants are also part of my collection. Those are actually a pair of stretched leather jeans. They have heavy duty zippers, kind of like a old school punk, like 1980s style. They used to sell in East Village in New York.
So something like that they're great. That would be sort of it was a new undertaking for you. If you've been doing.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to see like how pieces could mix and match, and how you can change up, maybe you don't want to wear a fully felted head to toe look, and ways that you can try to mix and match. I also think that the pieces go really well with jeans. Everybody loves jeans, and that's something that I personally have a problem with denim, like how it's created and how it's junky, especially with a lot of the polyester. But I'm now starting to work with a company in Miami that does, they take discarded clothes, and you should see they have a warehouse that's like 100 feet tall and miles wide. And they also work in the Dominican Republic. And so I'm going to get denim from them. So it'll be repurposed denim.
Terrific.
Yeah. So I think that could be an interesting way of staying sustainable, but offering a little bit of different options.
And then you would probably do kind of, bits and pieces and patchwork, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it could be patchwork. I don't know if you're familiar with Marine Serre, Serre, from France. She has some amazing videos that she's put out, even recently for her collection in the spring that came out, or her video that came out. And it showed the process of how they're collecting, all the garments, piecing them together. And often you can dye them on top, you could dip dye them, and then it doesn't have the traditional patchwork look, so I think it could be possible. We'll see.
Yeah.
And so here you've combined the felting with the leather pants. Is that what's going on there? That's certainly unusual.
Yeah, so that's an interesting feature, and that's something I want to work a little more towards, a little more experimentation, to see how I can incorporate the wool with the leather without ruining the leather. Because leather is, once you start poking holes in it, that's it. It's done. So they have to be strategic.
Yes. Now, is any of this going to be a patentable or trademarkable technique, you think, or?
No, I don't think so. The jacket, I'm not going to patent any of these, but you have like intellectual property rights because of the artwork. And I have sold privately a few of those jackets. I don't think you would copyright it, just because the shape is the shape, I
just wondered about the technique, if that was a special
no, so far that I've seen, I haven't seen too much about how, because people have done felting in the past, and it's been, honestly, felt is the oldest textile. I've heard the oldest textile known to man. So the cavemen were actually taking, before they knew how to kill the animals or skin them, they would take the hairs from them and mash them together, and they would wear like felted you know.
We like to think that fashion came before killing, so that's a positive message.
Yes, it
What's,
did. It had to have, for sure. I'm sure of it.
what's happening over here? Is this what is this
Oh, I
outline?
don't know. That was an illustrator piece that I put on top. This was actually these selection of images were sent to a incubator, incubator over in London that I was trying to work towards. And so she had a regular tank top on, so I put a silhouette of another garment that I have that's not in this grouping, but I just put the silhouette on top.
We have a couple incubators here in Chicago. Are you represented here in Chicago anywhere?
I'm not, but I am interested in American incubators. I find them to be there's not a lot of incubators, in my opinion, that I've seen. A lot of the larger ones that help with PR and not just funding, but really mentorship. They base it a lot on how, like for instance, the CFDA has the awards and stuff like that, but you have to make a good chunk of change in order to be accepted into that, which I understand. They want their money to go in the right place and their efforts to go in the right place. So I'm always open. If anyone knows of some incubators,
Well, we have people on our call tonight, and we always talk about bringing new lines and new vendors to Chicago, and there is some crossover. We could talk about that some more. I'm sorry, a number of people on the call tonight, I'm sure, will be fascinated with some of these looks. This is a especially nice piece, this jacket. Is this done well, or is this is a newer piece, you're saying?
Yeah, this is a newer piece. Actually, I haven't started selling that yet, and it looks really nice on lots of body shapes. So body height, tall, all different shapes. And I think because it's like sculpted and tailored, it lends itself well to the.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I'm just curious about the one to the left. What is that? Is that a skirt?
Yeah, the one directly to the left. Yeah, that's a wrap skirt. And I have a few of those that I've sold. And it has a bit of a Navajo Native American feel to it. For some reason, I don't know, I get a Southwestern vibe from that. But yeah, those are, and that's a various techniques. The herringbone pattern was made with wet felted strips that were cut apart and then felted back down. And then the other part that has more of like rainbow sunset coloring, that was done just directly with the needles, no wet felting. So
nice. This is also a very nice model. It really she really lends herself well to all of your silhouettes. Really nicely done.
Wait, I have another question.
Yes,
when did you start doing handbags or
that's so funny. The handbags were actually, I made them originally. I made them as a little token to give to all the people who worked at Bergdorf's that were selling. And since I was, normally they have a no gifting policy or anything like that, but I was already working with them. And so I just gave them these, they were makeshift purses at the time. They were very soft and didn't have a strong inner piece. But then I was like, that's not a bad idea. And so now a lot of these are actually currently for sale at Lizzie Tish's store in New York. She has like a pop-up that's going on, I think, until maybe the end of June. So right now, none of the purses, I think I have 2, but we're making more. So that's something that I think is great because it's like earrings. They go for everybody. Everybody likes a purse. Everybody likes a pair of earrings. So.
Well, that's true. In the fashion industry, handbags is the #1 driver, isn't it, Marcy? That's where all the money is handbags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a open studio on Saturday at where my studio is part of a art collaborative. There's maybe 60 different units. Everybody's all different artists. I'm the only fashion designer. And I had a gentleman come in and he said, "Oh, you got to do handbags." I said, "Oh yeah, I am." They're, right now they're selling in New York. And he told me, he was like, "You should do a pop-up store in Montauk this summer." So it's something I'm actually thinking about, just fill it with a bunch of great, interesting one-off pieces. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
These are very evocative slides. Maybe I would have started the presentation with something like this. These are really, you really appreciate the pure art of the textile here.
Well, and also, I mean, this is what your Instagram page is all about, as far as just really interesting photographs, done in different ways with mirrors and outdoors, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I actually have a photographer. This particular photographer found me through Instagram, through a friend on Instagram, and he liked what I was doing with mirrors and stuff, and he wanted to do a shoot based off of that kind of, I don't know, surreal fantasy, little bit of vibe like that. So I thought I was really grateful for that collaboration. And one of the
And
pieces,
she's very pretty too.
yeah, she's very pretty, and she wasn't a professional model, and I think now maybe she's doing it a little bit, and she's also going to fashion school here in Miami, so that worked out well. And one of the pictures from this shoot, oh, it might be later on in this selection, yeah, were actually chosen for a book, so we lucked out.
Oh,
But scroll up just a second there. So this is I mean, so I'm kind of understanding that you have felting and then you have lightweight felting.
Mhm.
Would this be the lightweight or the heavier
Well,
weight?
this one is a heavier weight. Yeah, this one's in New York right now. This one's probably a little bit heavier, like on the heavyish side. It could be made thin. I had someone recently reach out to me, liked one of the coats at Bergdorf's and said, "Oh, but I live, in a warm climate. Can I have it made thinner?" And I did, based on, since they're all made one of a kind, it's no difference. You might as well make it to the specifications that the client wants.
Couture.
it's very pretty.
Couture.
I love this little varsity jacket detail. That's kind of amusing. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and they're all hand painted. It's felted, but then the rib knit is all. I was like, oh, I can't have white. That would be too boring. We got to hand paint it, so it was actually hand painted in our studio, and it's a fun little touch. And I have a few of these now in New York, and they're all very different colors. No two are alike, so it's kind of a fun little touch. This one's also a heavyweight, but this is one of the ones that I was contacted to make lightweight, and it worked out well. Actually, it was a good idea.
And then the shoes, this is a styling. This is styled with somebody else's.
Yeah, those are styling. Those are actually the base. I bought shoes at Goodwill and then created pieces on top of them. And so there's some, I don't know what I put
some
on
fantasy going on there. I was just curious because I said,
mylar. Yeah, some
in-
opalescent mylar.
in looking at these, I was, aware that there was very little styling because the clothes are so strong, but just I'm sensitive to that because Marcia, of course, is a fashion stylist.
Yes, I have to. Actually, styling is so important, and it's not something that I often gravitate to because I'm just working on my pieces. But I love when my pieces are styled with other pieces and jewelry and all the beauty that goes into styling.
Mhm.
I really appreciate good styling.
Makes it come alive.
Yes, exactly. Instead of just a dead shot of like, oh, that's like a lookbook shot or a catalog shot. Really, the styling really does bring it alive. I agree.
This blouse is gorgeous.
Thank you. Just yesterday, Miss Universe Haiti was wearing this outfit. So
Oh,
yeah. So I was excited. I saw a video of her in it and I was like, oh, she looks awesome in it. So it made me happy.
and how do you think she came across that piece?
Through a stylist.
Oh,
Yep.
that's just, I just love the way things get disseminated down to real people
They're
in real life.
They're connecting us all, the stylists. So it's pretty cool.
And this is a little bit about the process, is that right?
Yeah, it just shows a little bit about the process, some of the pieces in mid phase, and then the finished textile on the right, and then how they're dyed and stuff like that. Just gives a little explanation about the dead stock fabric and stuff like that.
And the photography, I mean, you're just doing that yourself? It looks amazing.
Oh, those?
This
one is a professional. These ones were done with a professional who he is one of the photographers, one of the artists in our art complex, the Bakehouse Art Complex. So yeah.
Well, I said the model did a really good job because just her pose is just perfect for each garment. She did a really great job.
Yeah, she's a legit, her name is Kia Susanna. She's with Elite Agency here in Miami, and she's fantastic. Really a beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, she knows what she's wearing, and she knows exactly how to wear it. Like
that's true.
Really interesting.
Oh yeah, this is what I was mentioning earlier. The piece, one of the photographs from this little joint collaboration we did was sent in for the Asseline book, the new Asseline book.
Oh,
Miami.
yes.
We have a travel series, so we're featured in the book, but also on the back cover, which was a really pretty cool touch. Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice. But it's funny because it fits perfectly. It's so unique, and that's what people travel for, is for a unique experience, and that is really evocative of the culture and the vibe down there. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
That's a great publisher too.
Yeah, I actually, the Miss Asseline herself, she said, oh, I love this picture, I want it in. And so I feel really grateful because though that whole set of books, also the travel series, is really fun. They have, you know, Tulum and Mykonos and Palm Beach. So, and each really shows the feeling of the town. So I'm grateful to be part.
And this is the window at Bergdorf Goodman for holiday you were featured in. That's very nice.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
I'm
a jacket there.
There it
I
is.
see.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect.
What's going on in there? Is
Yeah,
that a man?
No, it's a lady. She's in there with all of her gifts for the holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
Marcy, you need to dream big. You know, you have to do better than just asking Santa. You have to go to Bergdorf and think big.
Yeah.
And this is very pretty. This is another Bergdorf window you were featured in?
Yeah, that was
her
actually
first
the
one.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I didn't even know. Someone went by and took a picture. Same with the holiday window. Someone called me and was like, wait, we have to do a FaceTime. And I don't know, sitting at home watching Netflix, and my friend is like walking in New York with her friends at night, and she's like, that's your coat in the window. So I didn't even know. So it was cute. And the first one, the one in October, the first year, one of my friends also walked by, took a picture, and I flipped out. And my mom took a bus from Northern Connecticut to take pictures of it, because I wasn't even able to see it before it came down. So
that's terrific.
yeah.
Well, I'm a visual merchandiser, so I appreciate that. And I'm glad to know you're excited about it.
Visual merchandising, that's another thing where things come alive. Same with styling, right?
Yes.
So it brings the juice of the pieces.
It's all in the presentation.
It is. It really is. And it's important. I wish that was something maybe we learned in school, but I guess there's only so much you can learn in so much time. But I do think that it really, styling and merchandising is so important, visual merchandising.
Well, that's why I appreciated that model, because she was really bringing something to the whole story. And that is what it's all about. Certain confidence and swagger and
the right attitude.
Attitude. Yes, exactly.
Without having too much attitude, because you want it to be about the clothes, right?
Yeah, and you also want it to be accessible to people who maybe don't have that attitude or that feeling, you know. This is what we're currently working on now in my studio.
That's over the top, Andrea. That's really
it'll probably go well in like a really white or gray space, you know, but who knows? I think it'll be interesting to see.
It'll go well anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere that it's showcased. I mean, it shouldn't have a lot of stuff in wherever it is, that, you know, if it has clean walls and
yeah, exactly. Minimal. But I think it could be interesting. And these were just some drawings. This was all sent in for that incubator, like I said.
So those are your illustrations?
Yeah, these are some of my illustrations you can see there.
Now, curious, did you like to draw before?
No, I hate drawing. I actually.
Oh, you had mentioned that yesterday, I think.
Yeah, and I never drew until I went to FIT, and then they make you draw, obviously. So.
This is a nice little drawing.
Well,
a lot of these are charming.
You totally learned how to draw from not.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. Well, we're going to try to wrap this up and get you out of here, because we know you're back to the Felting showroom here.
Yes.
But we're going to see you back this evening, right? At 6 o'clock Central Time. And you're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Hope we don't interfere with your cocktail hour, but you'll be joining us.
I don't have it during. Maybe we'll do it during simultaneously.
You'll be joining Marcy and I again. We'll have the rest of the people, rest of the guests, and we can go through the slides in more detail, but I know everybody's really going to enjoy it. And for anybody else who's watching now and wants to join us again, look for us on Facebook. I'll post the link to the 6 p.m. Fashion Coffee Hour, and we can all reconvene then. But Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
I don't know if you saw, please invite your mother tonight, your husband.
Okay. I don't know how much she's on Facebook, but maybe I'll try to get her to go on for sure.
Have her drive down from Connecticut and join us.
She's actually visiting me here in Miami.
Andrea, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I look forward to tonight.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.